spider, Venom landed on Earth in silence. S.H.I.E.L.D. The Avengers moved quickly. They thought he brought war. High voltage, Thor struck first. Iron Man marked him as a global threat. Collision, but every time Venom fought back, he saved lives. Man superhero, one man didn't join the hunt, Superman. Globe showing Europe, Africa, he saw something in Venom. Something no one else could. DNA, what Venom carried wasn't a weapon, it was a warning. Police Scarlight, and by the time the Avengers found out, it was already too late. The sky above New York split like paper. What looked like a meteor screamed down and crashed into the Hudson with a force that shattered windows across 3 boroughs. The Avengers were in the air within seconds. Satellites lost signal over the impact zone. S.H.I.E.L.D. issued a silent Level 9 alert. But before the data streams were fully restored, a single message pushed through the static. It's back, but it's different. Deep beneath the waterline, Venom crawled from the smoking crater. But this wasn't the same creature that once tore through Manhattan. Something had changed. His surface shimmered not just black, but streaked with blue pulses, as if lightning swam beneath the skin. His eyes were wider. His breath fogged the glass of reality. He didn't speak. He listened. The world was screaming, and only he could hear what was coming. Before he could even surface, Iron Man's HUD lit red. Unidentified life form emerging. Radiation levels spiking. Hostile intent probable. Tony didn't hesitate. Within seconds, the sky tore again, this time with repulsor fire. Venom was blasted midair before his feet even touched dry land. He hit a truck, denting the steel like paper, but stood up, breathing heavily. He didn't retaliate. Not yet. Stand down. Captain America shouted, shield drawn, already circling. You don't have to make this harder. Venom looked at them. All of them. Thor descending with thunder. Black Panther in stealth. Hawkeye already drawing an arrow tipped with sonic burst. He wanted to explain, but he didn't know how to speak their language anymore. Not after what he'd seen. Hostile confirmed, Iron Man said, scanning the strange new energy signature running through Venom's veins. Symbiote infection level has tripled. Unknown power source. This isn't Brock. He was right. It wasn't Brock anymore. The voice inside Venom whispered, twisted, layered with something alien, a frequency not meant for Earth. A message encoded into his blood, and it pulsed louder every second the Avengers got closer. They're coming. You are the first. You must warn them. But how do you warn a world that only sees a monster? Iron Man fired again. This time, Venom caught the blast with his bare hand. It singed, it burned, but he didn't scream. He just stared at Tony, like he recognized something deeper behind the armor. Something Tony didn't want to admit. He's absorbing energy, Black Widow snapped, flipping onto a rooftop. This isn't a fight. It's a setup. But Tony didn't stop. He increased output to 140%, shouting over the comms. Contain it now, before it spreads. And that's when the ground exploded. Venom moved, not like a beast, but like instinct wrapped in lightning. He grabbed Hawkeye mid-fall, threw him to safety before Thor's hammer landed inches from his skull. He dodged Cap's shield, took the strike to his chest, and rolled with it, not to fight back, but to draw them away. Every blow he took was away from the civilians. But no one noticed. No one except him. High above the chaos, eyes watched from orbit. Not a drone, not a satellite, a presence. A silhouette blurred by light, cape fluttering without wind, floating just outside Earth's gravitational field. Superman. He had heard the sound before the crater, a vibration through the solar winds. Not Kryptonian, not Martian, something older. And now he watched Earth's mightiest heroes fight something that didn't fight back. Not truly. Superman didn't move immediately. He listened. X-ray vision, heartbeat analysis, vocal tremors, electromagnetic fluctuations. He saw what the others didn't. Venom wasn't resisting because he was weak. He was warning. And inside that black mass, deeper than symbiote, deeper than alien code, was something screaming to be heard. A message wrapped in pain. A signal from extinction. Superman entered the atmosphere like a whisper. So fast, even Tony's HUD glitched for half a second. A sonic boom cracked over the skyline. Time slowed. Venom froze mid-swing as Thor came down with Mjolnir. The hammer never landed. Superman caught it inches from Venom's head. Every Avenger turned. Tony blinked. "You're not supposed to be here." Superman looked at them, not with judgment, but with urgency. His voice calm, firm, final. "He's not your enemy." Thor narrowed his eyes. "You stopped my strike for that creature?" "I've fought monsters across galaxies," Superman said, still holding Mjolnir's charged fury in his palm. "And I've fought friends turned wrong. But this isn't either." Venom stood, breath ragged. His body glitched, reality itself warping around his shoulders like heat off asphalt. His voice finally emerged. Not Brock's, not the symbiotes, but something in between. They're inside stars, coming through light, feeding on thoughts. Superman stepped forward, eyes locked with Venom. "What are they?" Venom didn't blink. "They used me to warn you, and now they're coming through me." In that moment, everyone felt it. The temperature dropped. Light dimmed. Not a ship, not a monster, but a ripple, in time, in truth. A sound like a reverse scream echoed from above. Iron Man's suit froze. Strange symbols ran across his HUD. Thor's hammer dimmed. Cap's shield vibrated. Superman turned to the sky. Whatever had marked Venom had just arrived, and they weren't ready. The air didn't just hum, it trembled. A pulse of invisible energy spread out from above, bending the skyline like a mirage. Skyscrapers groaned. Streetlights burst. Birds fell from the sky in perfect silence. It wasn't sound. It wasn't light. It was thought. Weaponized. Projected. Felt. Superman's eyes snapped upward. His pupils constricted, locking on something the others couldn't see yet. But Venom saw it, and he dropped to his knees. "They're here," he said, voice splitting into frequencies. "They're inside light itself." Iron Man's armor rebooted with a scream. "I'm detecting 11, no, 24 objects descending at orbital speed, but there's no mass, no heat, just signals." Black Widow crouched beside a crack in the pavement. Her fingers brushed ash where a bystander had just been. "Tony, those aren't objects. They're minds," Superman said quietly, "encoded into photons, like living thoughts riding sunbeams." That's when the sky bled. A perfect line of crimson cracked open the clouds, like reality had been cut by a blade. From it poured streaks of starlight, shaped like nothing Earth had ever classified. Not creatures, not ships, just will, colorless, featureless, pure hunger. The Avengers instinctively moved to defensive formation. But Superman didn't. He walked forward slowly, deliberately, past Captain America, past Thor, past the caution in Tony's voice. "They're not bound by matter," he said. "They don't want territory or resources. They want memory." "What kind of memory?" Cap asked. Superman didn't turn around. "Ours. The entire planet's." The first entity hit the ground. There was no sound, just gravity distorting, glass liquefying in midair, and concrete shifting like water. The form was tall, shapeless, but moving like it was being redrawn every second. Its face was a void, yet everyone saw something different when they looked at it. Hawkeye dropped his bow. His nose started bleeding. "I just saw my father, but he's been dead 20 years. Thor roared, slamming Mjolnir into the being, but the hammer passed through, and he staggered backward, eyes flickering as if struck from inside his skull. "It's not fighting," Venom growled, climbing back to his feet. "It's rewriting." Superman moved faster than any human eye could follow. In less than a breath, he was in front of the entity, fist raised, and struck it with a blow strong enough to level continents. But his hand stopped inches away, frozen, then bent. Superman's entire arm cracked in reverse motion, folding against physics. The entity was rewriting him. Venom lunged, tendrils lashing, and this time it screamed. The sound wasn't heard. It was felt, like shame from childhood or regret from dreams, pushed into their minds like poison. But the entity reeled. its form unraveling briefly under Venom's touch. Superman dropped to one knee, gasping. "How did you do that?" Venom's skin flared with the same unnatural blue. "They used me as a door. I still carry the key. I'm part of the code now. I can damage what they project." Tony's armor finally rebooted. "Then we've got a weapon." "No," Superman said, rising. "We've got a translator." He turned to Venom. "You're not just the warning. You're the message." More entities dropped, now in clusters, circling Earth like vultures. Buildings flickered in and out of existence. Traffic froze mid-motion. Planes hovered in the air, trapped in time loops. People forgot who they were. Memories evaporated like steam, and the entities grew stronger with every forgotten name. "They're feeding," Superman whispered. "Off consciousness, identity, history." Cap gritted his teeth. "So what? We punch them until they remember?" "No," Tony said, floating into position. "We contain the signal." He turned to Venom. "I need to borrow you." Venom's voice was static. "You won't survive interface." Tony smirked behind his helmet. "Good thing I upgraded." He raised his right gauntlet, revealing a needle-like device fused with alien tech. "Codex injector," he said. "Pulled it from the ruins of Clintar. If you've got the code in your blood, I can run it through my system and trace the source of the invasion." "You'll go mad," Venom hissed. Tony didn't blink. "I already did. When I built Ultron. When I chose weapons over people. This time, I choose to understand." Without waiting, he slammed the injector into Venom's chest and screamed. Data poured into him like fire. His HUD shattered. His memories played in reverse. He saw himself as a child, as a dying man, as an echo in space. But deeper than all that, he saw coordinates. "Got it," Tony whispered, before collapsing midair. Superman caught him. "Where?" Cap demanded. Venom's tendrils crawled toward the sky like antennas. His voice was no longer just Brock's. It was many voices layered into one. "They're coming from inside Earth's sun." "What?" Black Widow asked. "Encoded in solar flares," Superman said, realization dawning. "Every time the sun erupts, it sends pieces of them to Earth. We thought they were just radiation storms. But they're carriers, parasites of light." "We stop the sun?" Hawkeye said, half laughing, half panicking. "No," Superman said, his eyes glowing. "We go into it." The team fell silent. "You're not serious," Cap said. "You can't survive that." "I can," Superman replied. "But not alone. I'll need him." He looked at Venom. "The code lives in you. The light lives in me. Together, we might just reach the core." Venom tilted his head. The blue in his body pulsed brighter. And for the first time since he landed, he smiled. Not a wicked grin, not the hunter's growl, but a human smile. "I'm ready," he said. The sky behind them cracked open again, this time showing a rift that led directly into the corona of Earth's sun. And from within it, more screams were coming. The rift above Earth tore wider. It wasn't fire. It wasn't light. It was raw intent, a tunnel of cosmic purpose carved through reality. No craft could survive that passage. No shield, no spell, no tech. What lay beyond wasn't space. It was the sun's memory, and inside it, the architects of thought were still writing Earth's end. Venom's body trembled as he stepped forward. The symbiote within him convulsed, recoiling, mutating. His tendrils lashed uncontrollably, caught between instinct and mission. But he didn't hesitate. Superman floated beside him, cloaked in heat, eyes burning twin stars. "Once we pass through," he said, "you'll feel everything. The thoughts of a billion voices. The origin of their hunger. You sure you can carry that?" Venom's smile was gone now, replaced by something colder. "I'm not carrying it," he said. "I'm becoming it." Then they vanished into the light. The rift swallowed them in silence, and Earth stood still. Inside the sun, there were no flames, only language. Patterns of light danced like veins of data. The core wasn't molten. It was alive. Cells of memory folded in on themselves, creating corridors made of time. Superman struggled to focus. Even he, forged from the power of yellow stars, felt his mind slipping. Voices whispered in Kryptonian, in human dialects, in alien frequencies he couldn't name. Kal-El, son of dead planets, your story is old. Let us erase it. Venom floated beside him, now fully transformed. His body no longer held shape. He was data, a black and blue shimmer wrapped in noise. His voice was a vibration, not a sound. They know your name. They know all names, Superman said. That's how they erase them. Suddenly, tendrils of golden light lashed out, grabbing at Superman's memory. His first flight, his mother's voice, Lois's hand in his. Each one blinked, flickered, began to fade. No, he growled, eyes igniting. You don't get those. He punched the light, not with force, with remembrance. The sun flinched, entire sectors of it distorted like broken mirrors, and the whispering stopped. Your memory is armor, Venom said. That's why they fear you. They'll fear you more, Superman replied. You're what they can't overwrite. Venom extended his hand, and inside his chest, a black sphere pulsed. The code they wrote into me, he said. I can trace it back. We can find the core. Suddenly, a presence approached. Not one of the entities, the source. A being of pure light, 20 stories tall, neither man nor machine. Its voice fractured every element around it. We are Echo. We are the mouth of the sun. We remember nothing, and so we cannot die. Superman stood in front of Venom. You're killing minds, devouring lives. That's not survival. That's theft. Echo hovered closer. You cling to identity like armor, but it is your curse, your wars, your grief, your guilt. You call it humanity. We call it clutter. Superman didn't answer. He launched. The impact cracked the architecture of the solar core. Reality buckled. Sound exploded where sound should not exist. Venom followed, striking not with fists, but with pulses of forgotten truths. Names, images, stories, all unleashed like weapons. The Echo screamed. Its form bent backward, splitting into tendrils. Venom unleashed the black sphere from his chest. It pulsed with every memory Earth had ever erased. Forgotten languages, buried cities, extinct songs. The Echo recoiled. You want emptiness? Venom roared. Then choke on our noise. The Echo shivered. This fusion should not exist. You are contradiction, code and soul, chaos and order. Superman landed beside Venom, cracked and glowing. Welcome to Earth. Together, they dove toward the core. Meanwhile, on Earth, the rift pulsed violently. The Avengers circled beneath it, watching helplessly as the sky glitched, blinking between present and non-existence. His vitals are gone, Tony said, struggling to stabilize his feet. Superman's signal just collapsed. Gone, Steve asked, tightening his grip on the shield. Or unreadable, Tony replied. Same difference up there. Then the light above collapsed inward, imploding into a single beam. And from it, they returned. But they weren't alone. Superman hit the ground like a meteor, his cape trailing ash, his boots carving trenches in the concrete. Venom dropped beside him, breathing heavily, body flickering between matter and idea. Behind them, hovering above the rift, was a sphere of golden data, contained, pulsing, silent. What is that? Thor asked, hammer tight in his grip. Superman stood tall. The core fragment, their brain, their seed of silence. We stopped it from broadcasting. Venom added, but we didn't kill it. We caged it. It's still learning. Tony scanned it, chest plates sizzling from heat. You want me to store it? Venom looked at him. You want to risk that? No, Superman said. We don't store it. We send it back. He turned to the sky and fired heat vision straight through the stars. A path opened, space folding in on itself, until a far, dead system blinked into view. He tossed the sphere. It vanished into the void. Gone. For now. Venom stumbled. Superman caught him. You okay? He asked. Venom's voice was faint. I remember things I shouldn't. Worlds that never were. Lives that never lived. It's loud. Superman nodded. I know. But now the world knows who you are. Behind them, the Avengers stood silent. Cap finally stepped forward. I was wrong, he said. We all were. Venom didn't speak. He just looked at the sky. They'll try again, he said. Superman's eyes narrowed. Then we'll be ready. Earth didn't celebrate their return. It didn't throw parades or light up screens. The world didn't even know what had just happened, that it had nearly been rewritten into silence. But in the aftermath of the sky cracking open and time skipping like a broken record, a deeper unease settled. Something still lingered. Superman stood alone on the watchtower deck, staring at the sun. His cape moved slowly in the artificial gravity, like it was listening. His body still radiated solar heat. Too much. The core had touched him, changed him. Venom entered behind him. No sound, just a hum. He wasn't fully stable either. His body flickered between shadow and structure. His voice echoed slightly, even in silence. They're not gone, he said. Superman didn't turn. No. Venom stepped closer. They left something behind. A splinter. Superman's jaw tightened. Where? Venom didn't answer. His chest opened unwillingly, revealing a symbol carved in memory, glowing faintly. It wasn't the Avengers insignia. It wasn't Kryptonian. It was a mirror, a symbol that reflected the viewer's own memory back at them, twisted. I think it's inside me now, Venom said. Superman's eyes narrowed. You said they used you as a door. What if now you're the lock? Venom's voice dropped. Then someone's already trying to pick it. Far below, in a city still piecing itself together, a boy opened his phone. There had been no signal for hours. But now, a video had auto-downloaded. No source, no uploader, no metadata, just a title. Forget who you are, we will help. He clicked it. The screen went white, and his name vanished from his own mind. At Avengers HQ, Tony burst into the room. We've got a breach. Steve stood up immediately. Another signal? Worse. A leak. Psychological. Global scale low-frequency pulse spreading through devices. It's not tech, it's thought form. They're trying again. Without a ship? Natasha asked. Tony nodded grimly. They don't need one. They're already inside us. Inside story. That video going viral? That's not just content. It's a weapon. Thor's grip tightened on Mjolnir. So where do we strike? Superman's voice came through overhead comms, calm but direct. You don't. Then who does? Cap replied. Venom and I, Superman said. This time, we don't fight from outside. There was a pause. You're going into the thought stream? Tony asked. We're going into the viral pulse itself, Superman said. Into the network of memory. Tony exhaled. You'll be data. I already am, Venom said through the feed. That's why I'm the key. And I'm the firewall, Superman added. The comms cut, and Earth held its breath again. The world didn't sleep that night, not because of what it saw, but because of what it felt. Across phones, screens, and signals, a strange warmth pulsed, a brightness that made people forget the weight of their own names. A silence between words. Some laughed, some cried, but no one remembered why, except the two who dove into the signal itself. Superman and Venom didn't fall, they uploaded. Their bodies collapsed into code, stripped of matter. Identities compressed into shimmering threads of memory, launched into the thought stream like fire through fiber. They weren't flying through data. They were flying through dreams. They landed in a place that wasn't a place, a digital subconscious formed by the collective memory of the human race. Cities of half-remembered childhoods, broken timelines, loops of laughter and pain. A glitching archive of everything Earth was ever afraid to forget. Superman looked down at his own hands. They were flickering between futures. One version of him wore black. Another bled kryptonite. Another had no world at all. They're rewriting me, he whispered. Not just you, Venom said. Everyone, every idea, every hero. Ahead of them, the thought stream began to swirl. The core was rebuilding itself, but not as echo. This time, it had learned. It took the form of a child, smiling, glowing, familiar to every human on Earth. Superman froze. It's hope. The entity spoke in a voice that mixed every language ever spoken. We are what they trust. The symbol, the innocence, the mask. You gave us your memory. We made it comfortable. Venom's form darkened. You turned their dreams into your trap. They asked for peace, the entity said. We gave them quiet. Superman stepped forward, shaking with light. Peace isn't silence. It's struggle, sacrifice, choice. The child's smile faded. You choose to hurt, it said. No, Venom growled. We choose to remember. He reached into his own chest and pulled out the mirror symbol, now glowing like a wound. He held it toward the entity. Reflect this. The memory of everything, every war, every birth, every heartbreak, blasted from the symbol like a supernova. The entity screamed. The signal cracked. The dream collapsed. Across Earth, people blinked. The video disappeared from every device. The fog in their heads cleared. They remembered their names. They remembered their pain, but also their joy. Superman and Venom floated at the edge of the stream, barely holding together. Venom's voice echoed. Is it over? Superman closed his eyes, listening beyond space. Then he opened them. They're gone. Venom's form flickered. I think I want to be just one voice again, he said. Superman smiled. Let's bring you home. They reformed in a field just outside Metropolis. Real wind, real light, no data. Venom collapsed to his knees, breathing like a man waking from a coma. Superman offered a hand. They called you a monster. Venom looked up. Maybe I was. Superman shook his head. Not anymore. A shadow fell over them. It was Captain America, followed by the others. The Avengers had come quietly this time. Cap spoke first. You saved the world. Venom didn't answer. He just stood and walked past them. Not angry, not proud, just tired. Superman watched him go, then looked to the sky. The sun pulsed normal again. But behind that light, he knew the silence was still listening, and they'd be ready next time.